So now we have a 6 match here on Circuit Breaker. Last spawning here at the top left, but firstly we'll introduce our winning player from the previous game. It is GuemChi, top right. Spawning here as the yellow turn is last. So favourable positions for last here. Horizontal spawns, which means that the push distances between the two bases are quite small. So I wouldn't be surprised to see last do some sort of 2 base timing push once he scouts the positions out. And we'll just have to wait and see what GuemChi does in this situation. Obviously, Circuit Breaker, very stock standard map compared to Fighting Spirit. The only difference is that the third gas is harder to take compared to the third gas on Fighting Spirit. So Circuit Breaker allows you to take your third base at the mineral only and not have the gas there. And we see here 11 barracks from last. Probably be following that up with an 11 gas. So the difference between 11-11 and 12-12 is that 11-11 you have to build your second supply depot before your factory. Whilst with 12-12 you get your factory out earlier, but you get your supply depot later, which means less Marines, less SCVs out. As we see here, GuemChi going for the Cyberdex for after this gateway. No big surprises here from both plays so far. Also note the positioning of the barracks from last. Allows him to do a wall off in case he sees any sort of proxy. Also gives him the freedom to place his factory there. Just allows for an easier rally of his units. And he's actually going to build a factory above his barracks. Nothing crazy right now. I saw the range actually being researched but cancelled, but it looks like he wants to get the June out, knowing that the SV is in the base of his. And note here that the SVs haven't been pulled off the gas geyser of last, so we might see some tech oriented play here from last, whether go for a quick dropship or quick upgrades. We'll just have to wait and see. Oh, 2-fac. Okay. So very aggressive build here from last. And if GuemChi doesn't scout this, he hasn't even sent a probe out yet, then this 2-fac might just be able to roll over GuemChi here. As you see here, GuemChi's scouting already, and he's scouting with that Dragoon actually, not with a probe. And yep, so the Dragoon, actually no, I think that's probe scouting actually. But he sees here that it doesn't really see much in the base. Actually no, it is a Dragoon. And it's actually double add-on here, so it looks like he wants to get those upgrades quickly onto those vultures and then start rallying vultures over. As you see here, GuemChi taking that Nexus at his expansion, followed by probably another gateway. It's imperative that he gets a third gateway here to help defend from this 2-fac. Okay, so it's getting another tank. And let's see what he's researching from these. Okay, he's chases away the Dragoon. Notice that he hid some of the Marines there, trying to lure GuemChi in the fact that he's going for 1 base expand. Yep, so it looks like he's going to go for the iron thrusters along with the spider mine upgrade. rather than going for early siege. And it looks like last is going to push out here. It's going to just keep rallying vultures over to the base of GuemChi. And GuemChi with these two gateways is in a lot of trouble if he doesn't get a vulture. Okay, he's getting a robotic support bay out. So if he gets that Reaver out in time, he's going to be able to defend this. See, if I get 5 Dragoons out here for GuemChi, and the first couple of vultures are out for last to plant those spider mines. And if he gets a nice trap here on the Dragoons of GuemChi, it's going to be really bad news here for GuemChi. The spider mines being planted here from the vultures. One mine gets off, but it doesn't get off. But these 3 tanks just moving forward right into the base of GuemChi. Marines doing damage to these probes, but it might not be enough here. Question is whether we'll get to the siege tank being upgraded. Siege mode. Siege mode will be huge for last. And last isn't actually continuing with his aggression right now. It's just going to expand behind this. While GuemChi here, his Reaver's nearly out. The question is he going to get this Nexus? He needs to kill this Nexus to get back into this game. But this Reaver's about to come out. And with proper control, is going to be able to defend this quite well. Also, you got spider mine though. Another spider mine here. Oh, whoa. It's really close there from last. He doesn't actually get to kill the expansion, but he does get a few probes. And remember that GuemChi did neglect to go for Observer Tech. Oh, these mines though. This mine, so close here. And this Scarab's not gonna, it's gonna get one hit, but it's not gonna be the optimal hit onto those mines. Last has to move back here. But I think he's happy with what the damage he's done so far. He's managed to kill a sizable amount of probes at that expansion and get his own expansion up, and finally it's going to get the turrets up. And for GuemChi to get back into this game, he's got to do a nice amount of damage with this Reaver on the SUV line. Nice turret ring around the base of last though. But we see here a counterattack with these 3 vultures coming in. But these vultures just gonna plant mines at the 3rd base there, stop GuemChi from taking over that. As we see here, GuemChi trying to find a good angle. Managed to drop the Reaver, but question is how much damage this Reaver can do besides that one turret. As we see here, GuemChi actually going to move out here with these Dragoons, with these Reavers. Oh, not Reavers, these Dragoons and the Observer. He's going to clear out those mines there outside of his base. As last is actually going to go for a 3rd base behind this. Unfortunately for GuemChi, all the bases have been spider mines, so he can't be able to take it out. As see here, last trying to do some harassment here with these vultures. It's not going to really amount to much, especially considering that the Dragoons and Observers are out on the map for GuemChi. And unfortunately there for GuemChi, loses that probe there, so looks like this base here at the 3 o'clock position is going to be delayed quite a bit for GuemChi. He's only working off the 2 gateways as well, and if Last is smart enough, he can add a couple of more factories and push out. But at the moment, he's just happy with what he has with his 2 factories. And three observers with this army should split these up Last trying to push towards his mineral only, trying to secure that. This Reaver's just doing some damage to delay this push a bit. See here, GuemChi finally secured that 3 o'clock position. So he's going to get that third gas coming up soon, along with the extra mineral income. And GuemChi's just trying to find a hole in last defense here. Trying to do a bit more damage with this Reaver before it loses its use here. It tries to do a drop here on the siege tank, but where's the Reaver? You got to get the Reaver to do damage on the siege tanks. The Goliaths are out as well, so it's gonna. Oh, I thought the Charon. No, I thought the anti-air missiles were trying to kill that shuttle off, but unfortunately for him, doesn't get that shuttle. But don't get me wrong though, Last still does have quite a nice lead here, especially taking that third base. Just got a nice defense going. And GuemChi hasn't really added enough gateways yet to do any sort of considerable push. You see here, Stargate along with the Templar Archives being built for GuemChi. Definitely wants to get those Arbiters out in this situation. It's going to be really hard for him to break through that, especially considering the fact he did lose his Revo. And the shuttle's on very low HP, so I actually see 8 factories here coming down for Last, so looks like he's just going to be very happy working. Whoa, this was Scarab. Dud. Okay, gets around 3 SUVs there. That could have been a lot worse for him though. And I think seeing this Revo die might actually trigger Last to move out here, because that Revo was the main threat to his army. No, it doesn't look like so. Maybe he's going to wait for the +1 weapons upgrade to finish before moving out. Or maybe he's just going to wait for this, the first round of vultures to be rallied from this factory. And then he'll move out. Alright, looks like we're going to see the timing attack here from Last. Seeing that GuemChi is trying to take 4th base here without the Arbiters as well, so it's going to be really hard for GuemChi to defend from this. And this script of Dragoons is just going to get eaten up here. And actually no, it looks like Last is just going to position himself to take out this 3rd base at the 3 o'clock position. So that 3 o'clock base is dead. DED. Looks like here though GuemChi is going to go for a counterattack here, but nicely placed barracks here along with the supply depot of Last. It's going to give him enough time to get those siege tanks out there, defend from this counterattack. Or actually the supply depot goes down, but I think it's just too many units here from Last for GuemChi to do anything about it. It's not going to be a big deal if Last loses his 3rd base. It's only a mineral only. And a lot of nicely... Oh, the shuttle nearly dies as well. Dark Templars here for GuemChi, last ditch effort. Arbiter's not even out there for GuemChi, so it's going to be unfortunately a very hard defense here for GuemChi here. As the counter attack is still going on here from GuemChi, but it looks like the Vultures and the SVs are just doing a very nice defense. And with Last sieging at the bottom there, it's going to be really hard for GuemChi to get enough units out to defend from this. Really nice position there with those siege tanks. Last can't really do anything about it. GuemChi can't really do anything about those siege tanks there. Even if the Arbiter does come out, Last had the scans there and GG. So it looks like we're going to go to our 8th game with all the races being